Welcome back, you guys, and this summer's free agency is going to be led by LeBron James, Paul George, and DeMarcus Cousins, and other players. Those guys are going to dominate the free agent conversation, but it's not just going to be about them. There are other free agents who will be ready to take a spot in a lottery team's rotation or contribute to a playoff team. This is in no order. I'm going to briefly talk about 10 free agents that I think are going under the radar. Let me know which teams you think these players will go to, and let's go into the first one. First player we have on the list is Tyreke Evans. This was a revival season for Tyreke and was his most exciting season since his rookie year with Sacramento. He was one of the handful of players to average over 19 points, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds this year. Not to mention he also hit 39% of his threes on 5 attempts per game. Tyreke was supposed to be traded to a playoff team at the deadline, but no trade happened. The Grizzlies even had him sit out games before the deadline so he wouldn't get injured, so he was basically sitting for nothing. I'd assume he leaves Memphis and goes to a different team. He proved that he can be a sixth man on a playoff team or another team's primary ball handler in the starting lineup. I would like to see him on the Miami Heat as a sixth man, but they are capped out and have so many shooting guards already, so they will not be offering him anything. Where do you guys think Tyreke will land? Second on the list, we have Montrezl Harrell of the Los Angeles Clippers, and he is a restricted free agent, which means the Clippers can match any offer another team gives him or just let him go. His playstyle is kind of like Kenneth Faried when Kenneth was getting minutes. Montrez has a really good first jump, which helps him when he's going after rebounds, catching alley-oops, and blocking shots. He was the Clippers' small ball center when DeAndre Jordan wasn't on the floor and a bright spot on the team once Blake Griffin got traded. Harrell is 6'8", so he is undersized at center, but with the way the best NBA teams are playing, you need a guy like Montrezl that has the potential to keep up with the speed of the game and guard 2 or 3 positions. If the Clippers don't re-sign him, he will be useful on a different team. Third on the list, we got Will Barton of the Denver Nuggets, who was a big part of their bench and their starting lineup depending on how the game was going for Denver. This is Barton's third year in a row averaging more than 13 points per game. He has proven he can score in bunches, hit shots at the three-point line, and be instant offense, whether that's off the bench or with the starters. Barton will probably get something in the range of $7 to $9 million per year. Lou Williams took a deal that is $8 million per year, so that's probably Barton's range. He reportedly rejected a $42 million contract extension before the season started from the Nuggets. I'm going to say that the Nuggets let Barton walk and move forward with Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic's development. Fred VanVleet is a restricted free agent this summer, which means the Toronto Raptors can match any offer from a different team and bring him back. He was one of the finalists for Sixth Man of the Year, and he's one of the core guys for the Raptors bench that was dominating for most of the regular season. In crunch time, you would often see him next to DeRozan and Lowry, and would even handle the ball over the 2 All-Stars. He is a really smart player. He can shoot the 3 and use his underrated strength to play physical on both ends. He was a really valuable piece this year, and there's no way the Raptors can let him walk, in my opinion. That'd be crazy to me. If the Raptors keep DeMar and Kyle, I'm gonna guess that the Raptors let DeLon Wright walk and re-sign VanVleet. Next up, we have Wayne Ellington, who had a career high in 3-point shots made per game in his 9th season with the Miami Heat. Only 5 players made more threes than Wayne did in 2018, and he shot 40% on threes in the playoffs. It's the NBA in 2018. If you're hitting threes at a 40% clip, teams are going to be looking to bring you in. Ellington is a guy that can contribute to a playoff team and spread the floor for your best players. The Heat have a little dilemma on their hands though, with Dion Waiters, Tyler Johnson, Josh Richardson, and Rodney Magruder at the shooting guard spot. Plus, we don't know if Dwayne Wade is coming back. That is a lot of shooting guards that need minutes, and a lot of those guys just got contracts from the Heat. The Heat don't have much money, so it's possible that Wayne Ellington is on a different team in a month. I've talked about Kentavious Caldwell-Pope in a previous video. He was disappointing with the Lakers in the first half of the season, but once he was released from his prison sentence, he played a lot better. KCP had a strong second half of the year and bumped his 3-point percentage up to 38% after shooting around 30% in the first 3 months. KCP is also a pretty good defender, especially off the ball. He is always in the passing lanes. He has a skill set on the wing that many teams are looking for, but the problem is there's not many teams with extra free agent money, so it'll be interesting to see which team gives him a long-term deal he's been looking for, because if you remember, he declined a long-term deal from the Pistons, which was around 5 years, $80 million, I believe. Next, we have Seth Curry, and over the past 2 years, he's proved that he is a legit rotation NBA player, but unfortunately, he didn't play at all this year because of a stress reaction in his left tibia, which he had to get surgery on. In the 2017 season with the Mavericks, he averaged 13 points, 3 assists with efficient shooting percentages, especially from the three-point line. In 2017, only 7 players shot better from the three-point line than Seth Curry. It's unfortunate he went down with an injury because this was a contract year for him and he could have guaranteed himself a long-term deal if not for the injury. But I think he'll be fine going into 2019. If you're hitting 42% of your threes and can handle the ball, you're going to be commanding teams' attention in free agency. Seth has a nice skill set on offense and will be able to help a team's bench with his three-point shooting and ball handling. Next we got Joe Harris, and he is a shooting guard / small forward for the Brooklyn Nets. Joe is 26 years old and his first 2 years in the NBA were with the Cavs in 2015 and 2016, but he did not play much and got injured. However, in 2018, he's broken out with the Nets as a knockdown shooter and okay defender. Joe averaged 11 points, shot 49% from the field, and 42% from the three-point line in 2018. Only 16 players had a better three-point percentage than Joe Harris did during the regular season. As I've talked about before, you can never have enough shooters on your roster. Anybody that is that efficient from the three-point line is going to get looks from teams. However, I wouldn't be surprised if the Nets re-signed him so they can space the floor for Jeremy Lin, D'Angelo Russell, and Spencer Dinwiddie. Rajon Rondo in the 2018 playoffs reminded everybody how good he is at controlling the pace of a game. His championship experience was a great fit on this Pelicans team. When Rondo is next to shooters and AD, he can do damage. At the age of 32, Rondo is an unrestricted free agent, and I wonder what teams will be offering him. I'm curious if Rondo prefers a one-year deal or a long-term deal so he does not have to worry about moving from team to team every year. Is that team the Pelicans for Rondo? He was a good fit there. I wouldn't be surprised if they re-sign him. Rondo has been with 4 different teams since getting traded from Boston, so I'll be paying attention to the length of his next contract. Last on the list we have Kyle O'Quinn, who is a backup center for the Knicks this year, and he has a nice skill set at the 5. However, he has a player option this summer, which means he could just come back to the Knicks for 1 more year, but if he opts out, there will be teams looking for a center like O'Quinn that can shoot the mid-range, pass the ball, and crash the glass. A team that could use him is the Warriors. The Warriors were interested in trading for O'Quinn in January because they have center issues. None of the centers on the Warriors roster have a skill set outside of dunking, so they could use an upgrade there. With Kyle O'Quinn, you have to be aware of his passing and mid-range jump shot. And those are some free agents that I think are going under the radar this summer. If you felt I missed someone, definitely do not hesitate to talk about that player in the comments. This offseason is going to be crazy, and I think even crazier than 2017 because of all the big names, but there's some other players that deserve to get mentioned as well, like Van Vliet, Rondo, and Curry. I appreciate it if you made it to the end of the video. If you enjoyed even one part, definitely drop a thumbs up as it helps my channel grow, and I'll see you guys in my next one.